So a lot is changing around here in the garden, and I'm excited to show you what is going on. So let's take a tour around the garden, and I promise you, you're gonna pick up a tip or two that is gonna help you with your own gardening journey. Hello everyone, warm welcome back to the channel. I'm Yaje, and I'm super passionate about gardening and sharing what I know about gardening with other people, inspiring, motivating, teaching other people to grow their own food in their backyard, because I believe that when you grow your own food, you grow health. So it's the end of February 2023. A lot is going on around here. A lot of new things around here, new growths. So I'm going to show you all that is going on in the garden. And like I said, tips and tricks. I promise you, you're going to learn something. So come along with me. February is the perfect time to start preparing for the spring gardening season. You can start doing tasks like cleaning up your garden, pruning old stems, amending the soil, doing things to ensure that you don't have a weedy garden. Just a lot that you can do to set yourself up for success. So, what I'm doing right now is just pruning my bitter leaf stems. I overwintered the bitter leaves by covering up the bitter leaf stems with a bunch of leaves to serve as mulch to keep the soil warm. And now that the weather is starting to warm up and my bitter leaf is regrowing, as you can see, I am now just pruning the dead stem and then also removing some of the leaves that I put on top to allow my leaves to have access to sunlight. And guys, if you're walking in the garden at this time of the year, just beware that there might be snakes out there. So use tools whenever you can. You would notice I'm using a rake. Don't just put your hands, your bare hands, in places like, mulchy areas, because you might get bitten by a snake. Just a safety tip, something to think about. The leaves that I use to mulch the garden, I'm using that to fill up my grow bag. I have like huge grow bags, 10-gallon grow bags. And if I were to buy soil to fill that bag up, I'm going to spend a lot of money. So, just a tip, you can put like dried leaves at the bottom and then put your soil on top. The leaves are going to decay eventually and provide even more nutrients to the things that you're growing in the bags. These are my bitter leaves that are regrowing, as you can see, beautifully in my grow bag. I've had this same bitter leaf for at least 3 years. These are scent leaves, the African basil, growing from seeds that fell on the soil, and now they're just germinating. I did not plant these. They are volunteering themselves. I'm not complaining. I'm planning to do some soil amendment with chicken manure. These are bags of composted chicken manure. I have one, two, three, four of them. So I'm going to work that into the soil at some point next weekend. Guys, one thing you need to do as you prepare for spring gardening is to manage weed in your garden. If you do take some time to manage the weed in your garden, then you're going to have a pleasant gardening season. What I'm doing is I'm removing the mulch. I'm going to move all of the mulch and then pull the weed. Make sure I pull all the weed out. And then next, I'm going to use a material. What I have here are fabric bags that I'm no longer going to use. I cut them open. Then I'm going to place them like here. You know, what that does is it suffocates whatever weed, and then I will mulch over the bag. So it serves as a weed barrier. You can use like Amazon boxes. You can buy a weed barrier, but I had the grow bags that I was no longer going to use. So I'm going to use that to suffocate the weed for weed prevention. This is a very important practice for me at the beginning of the gardening season making sure that I take care of the weed now so I don't have to struggle with a weedy garden later on along the way. Because guys, when when you allow the weed to grow and produce flowers, then it produces seeds and then disperses the seeds all over, and then now you're struggling with weed. So if you can take care of it at this stage, then you end up with a very clean garden. Guys, this is my greenhouse. Lots of plants. I have up potted a few of my seedlings, my starts. As you can see, okay, let me start from here. These are my tomatoes. These are the Paul Robeson tomatoes. I have three of them. I got rid of so many of them because I'm not doing greedy gardening this time. I'm only growing what I need. I'm no longer trying to save every single seed that I sow. Okay, these are my garden eggs. About 4 weeks after germination. Then over here, I still have a bunch of peppers. I've been reducing the number of seedlings in the cells. I come back here. If I see that there are three, I don't need three. I remove the weak ones. I'm doing that now. I'm not feeling guilty. I used to try to save every plant and then I will be overwhelmed at the end. These are some Scotch bonnet peppers. These ones. I have different types of peppers in here. Over here are my habaneros. Again, all up potted. They're doing so well. I'm so proud of myself. I've been coming back here and pinching off the seed leaves, the cotyledons. We don't need these ones. Okay. Now on the top shelf, I have more peppers. Okay, that's my mystery plant, but that's peppers. Then over there, those are scent leaves or the African basil, habaneros, more tomatoes. Quite frankly, I don't need these. I'm probably gonna get rid of this whole thing. I don't need it. And this is my only ugu that I have. I pre-sprouted the ugu, as you can see. I had so many seeds, they were all bad. So that's the only one that survived. Okay, what is this now? Oh, this is red bell peppers. Red bell peppers. Then this is njama. I was just making sure that the seeds were still viable, so I planted that there. And then in here is sweet bitter leaves again. I was just testing for viability of the seeds so that I can offer for sale. So now you know that if you buy njama and sweet bitter leaves from me, they're gonna sprout because I test them for germination like that. And over here I have garden eggs. These are the white garden eggs. I grew these in my garden in 2021, did not grow them in 2022, and I'm growing it again in 2023. The seeds came from my garden, and then these are Carolina Reapers with seeds from my garden. Guys, these are my uvias. That's the Cape gooseberry that I'm growing for the first time this year. I saved 5 of them. I had so many sprout, but again, I'm not doing greedy gardening this time. I'm only keeping what I need, getting rid of everything else. And then on this ground level, we have bitter leaves. Bitter leaves that I've been trying to propagate from cuttings. All bitter leaves, different sizes. These are the biggest ones, the biggest ones. See the roots? Okay. Those are ready to go in the ground. These are more bitter leaves, rooted, ready to ship. I did it this way so it's easy to ship. More bitter leaves in cups. Okay, and this is another kind of bitter leaf, the one that I started from seeds. And then this here is my papaya plant that I'm trying to save. So that's what is going on in this greenhouse, guys.